Hello friends, Hattie here with Honeybee Stampers. I'm going live for our happy hour today. It's Sunday, March 17th, and we've got this fun shaker card to create together today. So hopefully you are able to join me. I am excited to be here. I am going live a little bit later than I had anticipated because we had a lot of things going on today. We went to a really fun summer camp expo for my little guy. And so we went and checked it out, or it was kind of like, I don't know if expo is a good word for it, but there were a lot of different people from the community that are going to be hosting different summer camps. So different organizations, and they were there. They all had little tables. It was almost like trick-or-treating. We got a little bag and we walked around and learned about all of the different summer camps that would be available, obviously zeroing in on his age group. And so that was a lot of fun. So I did that, and we did some other things together today. And so now I'm here to do our Facebook Live video, which of course I will share over to YouTube. So if you're watching the YouTube replay, thank you so very much. I'm excited that you guys do that, and I appreciate it so much. So let me just show you if you are new or if maybe you missed last week. So last week we did this fun fold card. So this was the card that I originally planned to do. And then right before we went live, I was like, you know what? I really want to showcase some different paper. So I grabbed some different paper. You guys helped me out with the color combo here. And I needed to fix the label. So it's complete now. I've got the new label there. And the label that I used for both of these, I'm actually going to be using that same die set for the card that we're doing today. So this was just a really fun fold featuring the Simply Zinnias. Now, when I went live last week, this product was all available, everything except for the little embellishments. And then when I got off of my live, everything looked like it was still available. And then by the end of that evening, the stamp set had sold out, but it's all back. So if you liked the Simply Zinnias, now's the time to go and grab that off of our online store. It's an online exclusive. Now this one here, Thoughtful Expressions, is actually part of the mini catalog. And this is the mini catalog that we're working out of so that you have some reference, point of reference here. On page 60, 61, and 62, you're going to see this beautiful suite of products called Poetic Expressions. And the suite includes this designer series paper. It includes the stamp set and the dies, which would be a bundle. And whenever you purchase a bundle, you always get 10% off. And then these really cool little gems. So I have these gems somewhere on my desk. I think I brought them over. But we're going to be, there they are. They're really cute. They're called Champagne Iridescent. They are not adhesive back, so they're perfect for like shaker cards, which is what we're doing tonight. And also you can just embellish your card with them. Add a little bit of a glue dot behind it, and you're good to go. All right, let me hop over to load up my Facebook page here so that I can watch comments in case somebody comments and wants to leave me a message or has a question for me, then I can answer it for them. Okay, so this is what we're featuring. I also wanted to point out that this is the club, the Stampin' Up, well, not Stampin' Up, the Honeybee Stampers Club for the month of March. And so each month I choose a suite of products or even just a bundle and some paper, whatever, a collection of products. And I design 5 projects featuring the product, and then I write a tutorial for it, and I cut and prep everything, and you get product included. And it is right now only $40 to have it shipped, and it includes almost about $20, a little bit more if you add shipping and tax, etc. As far as product is included, and then again the 5 cards and the tutorial. So it's a great value. I love designing these projects, and this is what we are going to be featuring this month. So if you're interested in that, I still have some openings for that card club. It's called my Honeycomb Card Club. And when you collect 6 honeycombs, then you will receive a gift from me. Okay, so, and in order to collect a honeycomb, you would just do 6 consecutive clubs. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Hi, Brenda. Oh, good. I'm glad you love this suite. You're going to love the projects. They're elegant. They're simple, sweet and simple. You know, I love that, but they're elegant. And yeah, let's get started on this. Let's see here. I am going to grab some of my paper here and my paper trimmer. This card is going to take me a little bit longer than I typically do on a happy hour, only because I'm going to be die cutting and coloring. I want to die cut because I want to share. Some people kind of get tripped up on the mats, or these sandwiches for the die cutting machine, this one right here. Okay, so I just want to go over that as often as I can to really help people demystify that whole product line there. All right, so we are going to start with boho blue. That's the color that we're featuring here. And this is the card base that I have. Let me actually just fold it in half. I've just done an 8.5 by 5.5. So I've just cut an 8.5 by 11 cardstock right in half, scored it at 4 1/4, and you get that card base that we want. So there's that. And then we are going to use some of the Mossy Meadow. So when I was looking through the paper, all of the paper is really pretty, and just gorgeous colors. Again, like I said, a very elegant look. I wanted to feature this paper, and in here it's got some Mossy Meadow and some boho blue. So that's the color combination that I'm going with. I will be completely honest, I did not look up hummingbirds to see how they're colored or anything, so please do not be mad at me if this hummingbird is not correctly colored. I just kind of put it together. Let me grab my measurements really quick. Okay, so for the Mossy Meadow, we're going to want a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock that measures 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. So we'll just go 5 1/8 here. I can't shout out this paper trimmer enough. I want to say it's only like $25 maybe. I have to look that up actually, but it's inexpensive and it's a wonderful, wonderful paper trimmer. Then you're going to go by 3 7/8. Okay, so I'm just going to scoot that on out here. And that is our next layer. So I'm cutting all this paper. If you are an email subscriber of mine, then of course you are going to get all the measurements and the still photo, as well as a replay. Okay, so for this designer series paper, we're going to want to cut it at 3 3/4, which I think this one already is there. Yep, by 5 inches. Okay, set that to the side. That's our next layer. And then for this blue piece right here, I did cut this at 5 inches by 2 inches, but I have this piece here, and I couldn't decide if I liked it where it had a little bit of a thicker blue band or if I liked it with a thinner blue band. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and create it with this thicker band. So it's going to be 5 inches by 2 3/4. This original card was 2 inches with the width, okay? So we'll check it out. We'll compare. I like to do that sometimes and see which one I like better. Okay, so we've got some of that cut. Oh, let me cut the inside piece. So we're going to need an inside piece that measures 5 1/4, which is a pretty typical measurement for my insides. 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay, there we go. All right. Now we've got some scrap paper because we're going to need to do a little stamping. Okay, so let me find... for this particular card, I found that using our aqua painters was just a really great, easy way to color this type of a line image. Okay, and you can see this, it's a little bit curled because it's wet. I'm not using our watercolor paper. I'm just using regular basic white paper. And ideally, you probably should use thick basic white if you really wanted to get a better like outcome, essentially. But I think this works too. Okay, so this is one of the flower images on here, and I'm going to use Stays On ink because I'm going to be including water and doing a little faux watercoloring. So Stays On ink is the best ink for this. And actually, let me flip it over this way. I find it's easier for me to ink this way. So I am going to be stamping the inside of my card. So we'll stamp that. Isn't that beautiful? and set that to the side. And then here's some scrap paper that I have. I feel like I had some smaller scraps, but maybe not. Will this fit? Okay, that'll work. All right, let's do this again. So we'll ink this up. And our stays on right there. Okay, now when you're working with stays on ink, I highly recommend that you use our Stampin' Scrub. Do you guys remember this this thing? I mean, ever since I went to the Stampin' Chamois, I never reached for this. But when I'm using stays on, I always do. You're gonna want some of our Stampin' Mist. It no longer looks like a bottle like this. It's a lot larger, it goes a lot longer, it lasts a lot longer, I should say. You're just going to wet one side of the mat here, and it's got kind of like a conditioning solution on it. And you scrub on one side and you dry on the other. It's fantastic. Okay, and it's really great for stays on ink because it really cleans in the grooves and just has a better overall cleaning effect. Now I'm going to grab my little hummingbird, set that aside, and we're going to ink him up in stays on ink as well. Okay, my scrap paper. There we go. Beautiful. And when you clean with the stays on, you want to do it right away. When you're stamping with stays on, you want to clean it right away. Okay, there we go. Set that to the side. Okay, now that we've got these three images, we're going to go ahead and color them. I am going to use our Mossy Meadow ink pad and then also our boho blue. So one of the ways that you can actually color with this, with our aqua painters, is to pinch the ink pad together to get the ink in the well. You can also take and just, let me show you an example. Take one of our acrylic blocks and you can kind of, you can swipe a little ink like this on the acrylic block, and you can use this as your palette. So we're going to take our aqua painter here, and I've got some water here in the reservoir. I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit and get a little on my acrylic block and mix it around. So you essentially do the same thing on the well of your stamp pad, but the great thing about using the clear acrylic block is you can just rinse it off really easily and not have to worry about water getting on the ink pad, because if water gets on your ink pad, then you're going to have some issues with that. Okay, so we're going to take, we've picked up some color. Oops, a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, but I'm just going to very roughly color this. The way that the designer has made this particular image, it just looks kind of like a watercolory, kind of a fussy, not very precise, I guess, image. And so I feel like when you're coloring, you don't necessarily need to color the whole thing if you didn't want to, and it would still turn out great. We'll go ahead and color the inside piece as well. I absolutely love this faux watercoloring because it just makes for coloring images so fast and simple. Another medium that you could use very easily for this would be our pastels. We've got some soft pastels that you could use to color these images in. I've done classes on that before and videos, so you can check that out on my YouTube channel. And then the other thing that you could also do is our Stampin' Blends. Our Stampin' Blends are excellent for coloring these in. Now, when you want to change the color, you just kind of squeeze the water again, and then you rub until it's pretty much clear on your paper there. And then you can switch it up to another color. I probably should have colored my hummingbird first, but okay, let's do that real quick. And then I'll wipe off this acrylic block. Okay, so for my hummingbird, I'm just gonna do this. The more water that you use, obviously, the more your paper is gonna kind of crinkle up, so you gotta be careful with that. Okay, there we go. That's good. Now we can wipe this off. When it's running clear, then you know it's good. And then you could either rinse this block right off on in your sink, or you can just wipe it off like I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna flip it over just to make sure that I got all of that blue off of there. And that I don't transfer the blue onto this. Okay, so now we're gonna use our Mossy Meadow. Same little strategy here. And we'll just drop some ink on here. This looks like it's gonna be very dark. And the way that you can lighten the colors, maybe move it somewhere else on the block and add more water, okay? So there we go. We're just going to very quickly color in these leaves here. So you see how fast that is? I mean, I consider this fast coloring. Our aqua or water painters, they come in a set of 3. They're pretty inexpensive, and I think they're just great. I mean, you can use them for so many different techniques. Add a little bit of green here on his tail as well. On the wings here. So one of the summer camps that was very interesting is tennis. So they do tennis with the littles. And I just think that would be so cute to watch him attempt to play tennis or learn tennis. I'm gonna go with the darker green to see if I can maybe make this a little bit different here with these leaves. No, looks the same. And actually they have an adult tennis. I didn't play tennis growing up. My sister did. My younger sister did play on our like high school tennis team and stuff like that. So she really was pretty good at tennis. I never took it up. And I definitely think I'm going to sign up for the adult version of it and check it out and see if I can learn some tennis. Hopefully these old knees of mine will hold up for me and I'll figure it out. So I'm excited about that. When we were walking through the different tables and stuff, when we got to the tennis section, all right, I don't think we have any more coloring to do, so I'm going to clean this off. When we got to the tennis section, they had all these cute little tennis rackets on the table. And I said, Sterling, do you know what that's called? And he said, yes, it's called a bat. So we had to laugh about that. So yeah, tennis will be very new for him. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, great, everything's coming together. We need to die cut these. The other thing I'm going to show you when we go to get our die cutting machine out is I'm going to show you how to make this little border here with the dies. I actually didn't even show you the dies. So here are the dies that coordinate with this suite. So here's the stamp set, okay? And then these dies will cut out essentially every single one of those images. And then you've got these fantastic, I mean, you will see me using these all the time. And then this is really pretty too. You saw I used that on that card from last week. And then you've got some other extra elements here that you can use to really build a beautiful card. So we will be die cutting some things out of there. Let me move this. I'm gonna drag my die cutting machine in. When I stamp, I really make a mess. I'm just a messy crafter. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I roll. Okay, so here is the platform. Okay, when you get this die cutting machine, you are going to get everything that you need to die cut and emboss. So don't feel like you have to buy anything extra. I think that it does show like extra plates and stuff like that, but you don't need that when you make your first initial purchase. So you've got the die cutting machine, which is the first platform. And when you're using thin dies, I mean, the instructions are right here for you. You're gonna need a number 2 platform. And the number 2 platform looks like this, okay? So none of this should be on this. This only happens when people don't realize that this is not a cutting plate. So this is just a number 2 platform. So you place that on top. That gives you enough of the depth there, or the thickness, to be able to cut the plates. You remove it when you're doing like 3D embossing or embossing in general. Okay, so the next thing that it asks for are 2 number 3 plates. And so our number 3 plates are these clear acrylic plates. Now these are ones that you would need to replace every so often, right? So what we'll do is we're going to stick our stamped images on there. I'm going to grab the coordinating die cuts and I'm going to place them on here. I'm not directly over this. I'm kind of at an angle because if I was, I'd be hitting the camera. So hopefully I have these lined up well. Now, something that you can do to ensure that the dies don't move while you're running it through the plate is you can use washi tape or post-it note tape or a post-it note, you know, whatever, something like that to hold it in place. So I'll grab some washi tape. I don't feel like that's lined up very well, but we'll just go with it. We've got some washi tape here. We don't sell washi tape currently, but we used to, and of course I have an entire collection of it. So I use it for stuff like this, as well as like sealing envelopes and other things. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. Oh shoot, I've just moved it all. I'm just gonna line it up. I'm making it look more difficult than it is. I promise it's easy to do, and I'm just gonna throw some washi tape over that so it doesn't move. And then I'm gonna grab another piece to do the same for my flowers here. And then we'll get 2 die cuts at one time, which is very efficient. Doesn't always work out that way, but you know, if you can do it, do it. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna take our next plate and stick it over the top here and then run it through our die cutting machine. Now, of course, if you didn't have these dies, which again, I highly recommend you get them, you can of course fussy cut. This would take no time at all to fussy cut. So there's our first one. And then let's very carefully peel off our second one. Only problem with using washi tape is that sometimes, if I'm not careful, it'll tear all that pretty coloring that I just did, tear it up. So we'll just set that to the side and then I can use my washi tape again, and I will, because I'm gonna show you how to create that little frame. Okay. Just realized I don't have my scrap paper, so let me grab that real quick. Okay, so I want to create this little boho blue frame right here, as you can see. And in order to do that, you're going to need a couple of these right here layered next to each other. So we're going to need the largest one, okay? And then you're going to need the one right next to it. So the largest and then the second largest. And all you do is you place it with the die side down, die cutting part. This part right here that's all rough and bumpy or has a line that's kind of sharp, that's the cutting side. You want that to go down onto your cardstock. And then you're gonna grab some of that washi tape we used earlier. Okay, I am going to, let's see here, try to line this up. I know my hands are in the way, sorry. You'll see the finished product in just a second. I'm gonna line it up and kind of eyeball it so it looks like there's an even border around everywhere. And I'll just put my washi tape down like that. And we'll grab our die cutting again, that top cutting plate, and then we'll just run that through and die cut that. Okay. And then when you pull it off, sorry if my camera got blurry, then you're gonna have these pieces here. You're gonna have this beautiful little border that you're gonna use, and then you're gonna have this that you can use for something else later if you wanted to. I did need to cut, I don't see it here. I do need to cut one more piece. Hold on one second. Okay, I did cut it already. So you're gonna need another of the larger, but in basic white. Okay, so let's move this out of the way because I think we're done with this for now. Now we're gonna look at assembling our card. That's the fun part, right? A little more stamping and then assembling. So let's bring our card back in here. Get myself organized here. Here's our card again. I really like, even, you know, it's curled up because of the water, but I really like how that ended up turning out. So there's that. Okay, here's that large piece. Here's the border. Now, something I did not do on film was cut out another large piece of acetate. So I think we call it window sheets. If you're looking for this online, in my online store, I think it's called window sheets. But you would get, I think, 12 by 12 sheets, and I think it's like $5. It's very inexpensive. But you would use it for this. And I did see some other really cool techniques with the window sheets that I'll probably try to do in the near future. So definitely invest in that. So you can do that right along with me. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is add a little bit of adhesive. And when you're using this liquid glue, just the tiniest bit goes a long way. So you're gonna take your border, your boho blue border, and you're gonna add some liquid adhesive around there. Okay. And then you're going to take and place it over the top. Can you guys see that that's the acetate? Might look invisible, but there's acetate right there. I will tell you, I had a little bit of a difficult time running the acetate through the die cutting machine. I had to put a shim on top of it, and even then I did have to trim it out a little bit. Okay, so there's that. So you've got now this clear window sheet on there. And then I do see some of the acetate hanging out the side, so I'll clean that up by just trimming up the side there. Doesn't look too bad. And honestly, it's clear, so I could probably just let it go. All right, so there's that. Now we're gonna take this piece here and we're gonna use this to stamp on. Okay, so here are the sentiments in the stamp set. Where in the world would I be without you? Enjoy your day. Sometimes there are no words, and you're in my thoughts today. So I chose this one here to go with for our shaker card. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use our Mossy Meadow for the sentiment. Stamp it right in the center there. And then we need this little flower. This flower is also part of the stamp set. And we'll grab our boho blue. Now for this flower, I didn't want it to be super dark, so I want to stamp off. So we're going to ink it up lightly. We're going to stamp once on our paper like this, and then I'm going to stamp in the corner just to kind of fill in some of that white space. We're going to do it again, stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp it down here in this corner. Okay. You know, something I haven't been doing is looking at comments. So I'll have to go back and take a look at those comments in just a second, if there are any. All right, so we're gonna bring in our champagne iridescent dots. These are so pretty. We can use our glue dots. I love these glue dots. Make sure you have these in your arsenal. Ours are some of the best glue dots ever. Honestly, a lot of our adhesive is just fantastic. I would say our glue dots, our Stampin' Dimensionals are just like top of the line, okay? So those two for sure are things that you're gonna want in your stash. So now that I've got these, the only thing with the glue dots is they're a little bit thicker than say like our paper pumpkin glue dots, or glue dots that come in our kits or our paper pumpkin kits. So for the two flowers on the inside of the card, I did decide this time to use one of our paper pumpkin glue dots. So whenever you get a paper pumpkin kit, you're going to get this little sheet, and some people are like, they message me and they say, what is this sheet of things? They're glue dots, okay? They're not as easy, user-friendly as this that you could order, but they're great, especially when you're traveling. So I'm going to put those two glue dots there, and then you just kind of pop up the little covering there, and that'll expose a much flatter glue dot. And then this will be perfect for the inside of the card, because with the thicker one, what it'll do is the glue will, like one of these, it's a little bit thicker than this, it'll kind of ooze out the sides, and then all of the little gems will stick to it, and that's not what I'm trying to do. So I just wanted to put two little dots right there, little gems. Isn't that pretty? on there. Okay, so now that I've done that, now, before I put my other gems on, let me show you how to create the shaker portion of it. You're gonna need our adhesive strips. I think that's what they're called, adhesive strips. So you're just gonna place it on this portion here, and you can kind of push it against the acetate and bend it and form it around the border there so that you can't see it on this side. Okay, so you see how I've done that. I think this came from a paper pumpkin kit also, which means that the ones that we actually sell are a little bit longer than this, so you'll be able to go around your border a little bit further. Okay, so anyways, now we're going to go around here. Okay, and so I'm just pressing that behind the border on the acetate, and now I got to fill in the gaps because it's a shaker card and you don't want your little goodies flying out of there when somebody tries to shake your card, right? So I'm going to do this. Now the great thing about this is you could just go in and like snip it just like that. Make sure that it meets there so that your pieces don't fly out. And then I'll use this on this side. Just kind of bump it up against that. Work it around the border. Okay. And I'm just going to trim this off. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to press this in to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, great, 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 great. It looks great. Make sure you clean your acetate off. Some people, especially if they're using like sequin or something like that, will put a little bit of our embossing buddy on the inside so that there's no static. But with these particular pieces, they're very heavy, you know, they're not really going to stick to the acetate, so you don't have to worry about that. Now that you've done that, you can peel off the backing, expose the sticky side there. Do I have it all off? I do. And then you're going to pinch some of these little pieces on. Like I said, these are a little bit thicker of little elements for the shaker card, so I did find that I wanted to turn over some of these so that the iridescent side was showing, because when you go to shake it in the shaker card, they don't really flip, okay? So you want to flip the larger ones over before you close it. So that's just a little tip from me to you. The little tiny ones I'm not too worried about, but the bigger ones, yes. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just gonna move them all to the center here. I feel like I could probably put a little bit more in this one, but okay, yes, let's do that. Just a few more. There, okay, move them all to the center, and then you're just gonna take this piece and you're gonna lay it over the top. Okay, and I think I've lined it up fairly well. Okay, so you can see that now it's contained, and I'm just going to pinch it all the way around to make sure that I've got a great seal. Okay, now you've got this cute little individual shaker card, essentially. We're going to add this to our card. All right, let me close this, move this to the side, bring in our elements from earlier. Okay, and we're just going to start adhering these together. So I'm going to add this piece. Now, something that you may or may not know is that I do sell my tutorials for my card club. So they're only $15, and you would get the step-by-step tutorial with the measurements and the directions on how to put all of my card club projects together. So if that is something that you would be interested in, definitely reach out to me. I'll be launching my online store for my PDFs really soon, but reach out to me if you are interested in that. And I'll have lots of different tutorials for sale that you can take advantage of. Okay, so now we're gonna put this on. Again, remember I decided to go a little bit bigger with this piece. And then you're going to just add some adhesive to the back of this. There's so many different ways that you can actually create shaker cards. I could have die cut right into the, into the card front if I wanted to, but for this one I decided let me do like a little bit of a raised element. There we go. You guys are going to have to vote. Tell me if you like the thicker band or if you like the more narrow band, which one is more preferable to you. And then for this, I wanted to just, because it's kind of curled up, gives a little bit of a 3D look, I decided to use glue dots. Our glue dots are very strong, you guys. I'm not kidding. So I'm going to just do a glue dot right here. And I want to make sure that the wings will stay inside the card there. And then again, for this one, let's grab these from our paper pumpkin kit, because they work perfectly with these gems. And we'll add a couple of gems in here. Where did I stick them? Okay, right in front of me. That happens a lot. I'll be stamping and then it'll just disappear. Okay, so this past week, Stampin' Up had On Stage, which is like their convention, right? And this is the first one I have missed since they started doing them. Since they started calling them On Stage. So they used to be just our regular conventions, and then they turned them into something called On Stage, and I went to the first On Stage in Belgium, and it was incredible, and this is the first time I sat it out, and it was like, I had quite a bit of FOMO, but I had a lot going on, and so I was a bit relieved as well to be able to sit it out. Sometimes you got to do that, right? Okay, so now we're just going to add that onto that end, and you'll see I'll curl it up a little bit because I just really love how 3D that looks. Okay, so that is our completed card. Definitely a lot longer, a lot more steps than typical cards that I do, but I wanted to show you guys how beautiful these gems are if you decided to use them as a shaker card. I'm not doing shaker cards for my card club, but we will be using these gems quite a bit to embellish the cards, and they turn out gorgeous. Okay, so if you are local to me, which I live in Sumter, South Carolina, then you can come and take my card club in person. It's the last Tuesday of the month. I've got 2 times available, 11 in the morning, and I can't remember the second time, but I think it's 5. I've been changing times around here or there just to try to figure out what works. And then this summer, who knows, with me signing him up for these camps and stuff like that, who knows what my life is going to look like. So just bear with me. I'll try to give you guys a heads up like I did today when I'm going live. Okay. Oh, great. So let me take a look at the comments. Hi, Terry. Hi, Deb. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Franny. So Terry says she likes a smaller band. And honestly, I actually agree with you. I think that the smaller band, now that I'm looking at it, really allows that border to pop. It shows up a lot better, right? And Deb likes the color scheme. Yay. Yay. Okay. Let's see here. And Gina likes the larger bands. Isn't that funny? You just never, everybody has different opinions. So I love them both, but I like how this allows it to just really pop up there. Okay, let me show you another project that we did. So I shared a picture of this, but I don't think the picture does it justice. It's so cute. So I'm going to show it again. So this is a mystery stamping project that I did with my team. So once a month we do mystery stamping, and it's a card on the front of it. Isn't that cute? And it's a little like a designer series paper bag, which I know you guys have a ton of designer series paper, so this is like such a cute project. But look, this is the best part. You can take a bunch of cards or several cards with their envelopes, and it fits in there. So would this be just the best gift? I was thinking about that. I have to take Sterling in for a doctor's appointment. I kind of want to see if he has allergies. And he had the flu a couple months ago, and his doctor, Dr. Bouchard in Sumter, she is just fabulous, fabulous, fantastic. She was so wonderful to me and helping me like get through that because it was a little bit scary. And so I want to put together a little gift for her, and this is going to be the perfect gift. Add some like hand stamped cards in there. Just let her know how much I appreciate her. Oh, I almost forgot. We've got some of the inside to do, and then we're going to be done. I've been moving on already. Okay, so this is how I designed the inside of the card. And I started that already in the beginning. We stamped this right here, but I want to show you this fun little element that you can add with the designer series paper. So, let me see here. I thought I had a strip of this DSP extra strip. Let me grab it really quick so I can show you guys this. Okay, so you could do one of two things. You could just put this strip across it and then stamp this and die cut it and put it on top, which actually would probably be the easiest thing to do. But what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp this flower on top of this band here. I need a block for this, so use my block to color. All right, so let's grab our, we don't need stays on for this. We'll just use the green. Okay, so I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp it like right here, okay? Just like that. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm just going to kind of fussy cut. I know a lot of you guys are groaning right now. So many people don't love fussy cutting. I do. I just love it so much. And I'm just going to fussy cut around the stamped image here. So we'll do this side. Oops, cut a little bit too much. There we go. Hang on to that. That's not garbage. And then you're going to fussy cut around this side. Sometimes when I'm fussy cutting, I have to concentrate. All right, the other couple things before I forget. So Sweet and Simple, I had to move Sweet and Simple to the end of this month. Oops, let me cut into there. And so we will be doing Sweet and Simple card class the last Saturday of this month. So those are the two opportunities that you have to stamp with me in the month of March. Last Tuesday of the month, we'll have Card Club, and you can get Card Club to go, of course. If you come in person, it's only $36. If you get it to go, then it is $40 shipped to you. Okay, so now you see, I'm trying to see where this lined up. Okay, so it was up here. Oh, goodness. You know what? I have this backwards. I totally cut that backwards. Anyways, okay. So I stamped it one way and then I stamped it the other way. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to fussy cut it out so that it fits into this notch here. And then this one would fit into this notch here, okay? So that you'll have some DSP that goes across it. I'm always messing up on the projects and I have to fix it off camera and then I get back on later. I'll do that later. Okay, but this is what you would get. I didn't do it on this side and I kind of wish I had. So you guys get it, right? Or, like I said, something a little easier is just to put the band across there, stamp, color, die cut, and place that over the top. So you could do that. I just wanted it to be a little less bulky. So I hope you guys love this project. I would love to know if you decide to do a shaker card like this, and reach out to me. I'll be sending out an email with a link to register for the card club as well. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay, Franny, so you like the thinner band? Yes, I thought about you because you did purchase this bundle and this is so you. So yes, it's a great one. All right, I think that's it for tonight. A little bit longer video. Have a wonderful night, you guys. I hope to craft with you this month. And oh, one more thing, last thing. So at Onstage, which is our convention, they showcased the new catalog. I haven't had a chance to see it myself. I haven't even put my hands on it. I did get a chance to see some of the product that's going to be launched, and it is amazing, of course. A lot of people said that there's a completely different layout for the catalog, but they liked it. The cover is definitely different. And you probably have seen the cover all over social media because people who went to on stage, they're able to share the cover of the catalog. This month is the month that we actually pay to have them auto shipped. So you have the ability to just pay and have things automatically shipped. I do it to people who've purchased from me in the past 6 months. I will not be doing auto ship this time. So the way that I'm going to go about it, it's incredibly expensive for one, but the way that I'm going about it this time around is that I will be ordering the catalogs, and everybody who is in Card Club, everybody that comes to Sweet and Simple Card Class, anyone who places an order with me this month and next month will get the catalogs shipped to them specifically, versus going back 6 months and seeing who purchased. Because what I'm noticing is happening is that sometimes people maybe placed an order with me 6 months ago, but they're not as much interested in stamping anymore, and then I send them a catalog, and it's quite an expense for me. So I'm going to just send it to customers. So if you place an order with me this month in March, you'll get a catalog. If you come to Sweet and Simple Card Class, you'll get a catalog. If you do Card Club, whether in person or to go, you'll get a catalog. And if you place an order with me in April as well, you'll get catalogs. So, and then we'll be planning a Stampin' Bingo, of course, with the new catalog rollout. And everybody that comes to Stampin' Bingo that didn't get their catalog already will also be getting catalogs. Okay, so that's how I'll be going about it this time around. So hopefully I'm hoping that won't inconvenience too many of you, but know that if you go on to my stamping store, you'll be able to see all of the product, as well as a lot of the online exclusives. And I know there's nothing like having a hard copy in your hands. I love to flip through those hard copies. I like to write in my catalogs, circle them, highlight them, all the things. I like to look at all the samples. But I'm not going to be doing the mass mailing like I typically do. So just giving you guys a heads up about that. So if you want a catalog, definitely place an order. Join my card club. Come and see me at Sweet and Simple the last Saturday of this month. I would love to craft with you. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I did have a little green in here, right? I thought about that after I had designed this. But there's a little green in there, so that should keep me safe from getting pinched. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.